3 weeks since a 4-year-old boy died while taking swim lessons, family members are still looking for answers about the moments leading up to his death. They talked with Dee Griffin.
Family members say Israel Scott was a little boy with a big smile and personality. His death during swim lessons in Burke County has led to more questions than answers, and they want this death to serve as a caution for other families. At 4 years old, Israel Scott was known as a friendly, sweet child who was very protective of his family.
Whenever I left the house, while I was going off to work, going to the store, hey, what's your number one job? He would always tell me that his number one job was to protect the house.
But he'll never get to hear those words again. His little protector is gone.
And one of the moms came and said, "Come get your baby." And I kind of looked in her eyes, and you know, I was wondering why she said that, and I looked in her eyes and I saw tears in her eyes. So initially when I looked at her, I was like, you know, I felt something had happened, like my heart sunk. So I swung my door open, got out, and was like, "Is he okay? Is he okay?" And she was looking like, and so I just instantly started crying, screaming.
Dory Scott says parents were not allowed to watch the swim lessons, but she was feet away in her car.
So I heard somebody say he was in the deep end. I said, the deep end? And I'm looking, just watching him crying, screaming. They're doing CPR, and he never coughed up. I could tell he had been under that water for some time.
Still, there are more questions in the case. Attorney Lee Merritt says he is working to find those answers.
We know from the sheriff's report and from evidence that we have been able to gather that Izzy was left for about a 10-minute period where there seems to be no account for who was supervising him, what he was doing.
He also says there are big questions as to whether state guidelines were followed while giving lessons to small children.
There should be additional agents or employees present to keep an eye on the children. There should be people with first aid training, for emergency medical services training to provide first aid. Again, that did not seem to be the case here. When Dory Scott discovered her 4-year-old on the side of the pool, there was another parent providing first aid.
While no one can bring Izzy back, his mother has words of advice to prevent another child from being taken in the same way.
Know the ratio, what it's supposed to be, the rules, how many students are supposed to be in that class, make sure that facility or pool has cameras, and I would advise that if they tell you not to stay, take your child out. That's just me.
Burke County Sheriff Alfonso Williams released a statement that reads in part, quote, "We met with Assistant District Attorney Rex Myers and presented our investigative findings. While there may be some form of negligence, it was determined that the case lacks sufficient evidence to prove criminal negligence. As a result, we are unable to move forward with this case. Our findings have been forwarded to the District Attorney for further review." Now, according to state guidelines regarding parental permission, no child shall participate in a swimming activity without the parent's written permission. That's what I found when it came to the state law. Izzy's parents tell me they were never asked to sign a waiver nor permission form for the swim lessons. Dory Scott says she was only asked to pay the $100 charge via contactless payment prior to the swim lessons. She says she was refunded the money 2 weeks after Izzy's death. No word on the whereabouts of the swim instructor. We're told she lives out of state and returned home after the drowning.